fact or fiction, no one wants to see a pregnant woman on stage.
If they see a baby bump, like, oh, that's great, she's releasing this EP, but like her career is over because look, she's gonna have a baby, and how is she gonna be able to do both? So untrue.
So here are the rules of the episode today. I'm going to tell you something I've heard around the music industry from other moms, something I've gathered from social media. I'm going to see what you think about it, whether it's true or not. Welcome, Emily Rose, by the way. This is a friend of mine. She wrote an album, a 12-song album called Welcome to Motherhood. So it's really no one better to talk on this subject, I think, right now. So something I've heard is that you should keep motherhood and your music career separate. Keep them separate. Is that true or not?
False. I thought it was true. I believed the lie. So I had just kind of like started, I've been an independent artist for all time. I've never been signed or anything. I do have a manager, and we had kind of started getting the ball rolling. I had just released an EP, or I was getting ready to release an EP, and I found out I was pregnant. And I was like low key kind of bummed out. We weren't really, I'm not bummed out, but like for my career, I was bummed out. I was very excited about the baby.
Right.
But we just, I don't know, like I felt like the wind had kind of been knocked out of my sails, and from everything that I had preconceived about the music industry, it was like, oh, this is kind of like it for me now. But as I just started thinking about my life, and especially once I had my son, it's like once you have a kid, like everything changes, your perception of life and the way you spend your time and all of that. And it obviously inspired a whole album for me and kind of gave me like my brand identity and gave me kind of like a reason. And I feel like my songwriting is so much better. And I always kind of said, you know, Lori McKenna is one of my, like, I love her. She's like a songwriting hero of mine. And I would always say, I can't wait to be a mom like Lori McKenna so I can really become a great songwriter. And I feel like she's a great example of somebody who's always kind of kept her kids in the background of her songs and use them as inspiration. And it is like, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't have any of these songs if I just pretended like I wasn't a mom, you know?
Yeah. One of her biggest songs was cut by, it is now one of Tim McGraw's biggest songs, Humble and Kind. Isn't it true that she wrote that with her kids in mind?
Yeah. I mean,
I think if you listen to that and you thought about it from the perspective of being a mother, you could kind of picture like a mother passing this life lesson on to her kids. But it's really just like a shared truth that like we all can connect with. And obviously even someone like Tim McGraw, who's, you know, this like definitely not a motherly figure. But he's still able to carry that message and sing that song with a lot of conviction.
For sure. And I mean, it's like, I don't know, I just feel like I've always like prided myself in being like as honest as possible, and I'm just like an oversharer by nature, and just everything in my songwriting, it like if I'm gonna record it, like I want to believe it, like I want it to be true, I want it to be about my life. And so what kind of artist would I be if I kept my mom life like totally out of it? Like I just wouldn't be my authentic self, because becoming a mom changed everything about me, like everything. Right. So I don't know, I would say
another thing I've heard,
I would just say keep it not separate. Keep it fluid. Yeah. I love it. All right. Another thing I've heard, if your career hasn't taken off before you have a kid, it's already over. And I mean, in addition to that, it's like really, if you don't have a label deal before you have a kid, you know, your career's already over. What are your thoughts on that? Well, I mean, it's definitely going to make it harder, like if you're being realistic. But definitely, I mean, gosh, I hope that's not true, because I'm doomed then.
Yeah.
I will fail.
Well, is that's obviously a thought you've come up against. Where have you gone from there? Like, what are, what kind of inspires you to continue to pursue a career in the music industry?
Well, I just I don't know, one of my biggest things is when I lay my head down at night, I still think about playing the Opry one day, or playing a show and having people sing songs back to me. And I feel like that definitely fuels a lot of it. I think if you really want something, you just got to keep trying, and the trying is definitely looking a lot different these days. But I feel like, if anything, it's made me more intentional. It's made me choose things. I don't say yes to everything anymore. I never said no before. I never knew how to advocate for myself. I've learned how to do that through this. And, anything that I do is really means something to me now, and kind of adds more fuel and more power behind anything that I do. Because if I am choosing to take time away from being a mom and put it towards, this very, kind of crazy, dreamful career choice that I've chosen, I feel like it just adds more fire to it. And it definitely makes it harder. That's not a lie at all, because, and I think the thing too is, I think the thing that I had convinced myself, and I hope if anyone's listening to this can take this and kind of think about this for themselves, but it's I was so convinced though that if I disappeared at all, because I am independent, it's you have to be releasing songs so much, and you have to be on social media all the time, and you have to just be so present, because there is so much space out there that you don't want to get lost in the mix. And I was just convinced that if I put this down at all, I'm not going to be able to pick it back up where I left off. And that I was really over trying postpartum, and we were getting ready to release a song that I had recorded before I had my son, and nothing was just feeling right. But I was just really trying to keep the ball rolling, to the point where I just basically kind of burnt myself out, and I was I have to stop. I can't, I just have to set everything down.
Right.
Instead of kind of more being wanting to, if that makes sense. And everything was still there. It's okay. It's okay to take breaks.
Yeah. We've worked together on content, so obviously know a little bit about your story. Do you feel what when you look back on this journey so far, what are the moments you feel most proud about in your independent career so far? Do you feel they're before you had a kid or after you had a kid?
I feel they're after. I've definitely done some cool things before, but honestly, this album that I made, I'm just so proud of it, and it just came from a place that I would have never even been if I hadn't become a mom. And I'm just kind of I finally made an album that I'm I will have this for me for the rest of my life. So if it's not a huge success, I'll always have it. And I think that's really important to be making music, especially if you're independent, because you are this whole engine. You are the team. You're putting so much into this. So at least be making music for yourself. You know what I mean? And stuff that you're gonna love. As
opposed to Nashville, or as opposed to Nashville, or some sort of songwriting structure that you feel
you feel
that way?
For sure. And I feel I'm still have to kind of hit myself when I'm trying to please Nashville, because I'm just kind of it's never going to happen, and that's okay. And it might, and if it does, it's going to be because it's an authentic, and that's great. But I mean, like, I've really learned, especially being an independent artist, like, it's all about connection and connecting with, like, the world and, like, the people that are out there actually listening to your music, because that's what's gonna, like, fuel everything, is them finding you and connecting with them. And I feel like they connect with my music more now because, like, I wrote it for myself, and then, like, it's so authentic and so real that other people can relate because of that. I don't know.
Yeah, I love that. Something else I've heard, having kids is a setback. And you're not going to have enough time for your career after you have kids. What do you feel? How do you feel about that?
Well, it's kind of true, but it's not. Having kids is a setback, if you want to call it a setback, because, like I was just saying, like, you are, like, realistically going to have to take some time off. Like, if you want to call it a setback, I call it a time to rest, or, like, a time to just, like, live your life. Because, you know, if you're not living your life, you're not going to be able to, like, make meaningful music. Like, you have to be able to, like, observe and experience things to be able to write about things, unless you just want to, like, you know, write about other people's lives, which is fine. You can do that.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a setback. I think it's just creating more of your world. And I definitely thought that, like I was saying, like, I definitely thought, I mean, I thought it was going to, like, ruin everything. I thought I was done. I was like, okay, I'm not going to, like, do music anymore, or at least be an artist anymore. I thought, like, that was kind of, like, not going to happen. But that's been nothing but the opposite. And I mean, like, you know, it doesn't look, my career doesn't look anywhere near the same as it used to. But I don't know. I still get to do it.
We're both new parents. We both have young kids. Something I've felt, you know, entering parent and then, you know, owning a business, and similarly to being an independent artist, is that I'm just more intentional with my time. And, you know, like, I have to make hard choices about where the time goes, because you do have this other thing that's, like, really important and that takes a lot of time and requires time to do it well. And do you feel like, have you experienced something similar, and how do you feel on the other side of that? Like, kind of this, an increased amount of intentionality in your career.
I mean, not even just in my career and everything, like, in my whole life, but, like, I mean, I joke all the time, like, what did I do with my time before? Like, you know, like, I was waking up, like, staying out late and waking up and sleeping in, and I'm like, you know, there's no time for that now. Like, you're getting up with the sun, and you only get these, like, little chunks of, like, time where you get to, like, dedicate them to your job or whatever. And I just feel like now I'm just, like, way more organized and way more thoughtful, way more intentional. Like, I just, like, there's no time to mess around. And I've even found that, like, in singing and or writing, recording, like even my co-writes are just more productive, because I'm like, this is the time that I have dedicated to this right now. Like, it's kind of like, you know what I mean? And I just think,
do you feel like because of an increased amount of intentionality, you get more out of the time that you have? Like, do you feel like, you mentioned that you feel more productive, but do you feel like, you know, take a write pre pregnancy or having a kid, and then take a co-write post pregnancy or having a kid? Do you feel like maybe just, like, the energy you approach those times, just you're able to get more out of it? Does that feel true?
Yeah, it does. And, like, now this is, like, silly, but, like, now I'll be, like, driving to a co-write and, like, oh, I get to do this today. Like, I get to fire, like, a different part of my brain today. Like, and so that is even just exciting in itself. It's like, I kind of took it for granted, and now it's kind of more like, this is, you know, this side of Emily gets to be alive today, and that's really exciting because, you know, I don't get nearly as much time as I used to like do all of this stuff. And, you know, especially with being independent, it's like the time to do like writing or recording, then you have to find time to do social media and marketing yourself and keep yourself organized. So it's like when I do get to like sit down and do those things, it's like I'm always getting that fire like reignited instead of feeling that burnout, I guess. Yeah.
That's awesome. Something else I've heard is the music industry isn't a space for kids. Do you feel like that's true?
You know, there's a really great organization right now that's kind of popped up in Nashville. It's called FAM, and it's like all about like bringing, like they have like events where like bring the kids and all this stuff. And I just went to another show that Caitlin Smith, Lucy Silvis, and Jillian Jacqueline have been like putting together. And I mean, like they all brought their kids, and like in between songs, you could hear the kids in the background, like, wow, playing or whatever, like running around. And it was great. Like, you know, I mean, like, unless you're like a really big curmudgeon, like nobody is like, somebody shut those kids up, you know? Yeah. But actually, it was really cool because Martina McBride was there, and she was saying that how she like took her kids on the road with her, like everywhere she went, and she was able to do that. And you see a lot of people doing that way more. I just think like, especially like if you're gonna have a career in music where it is kind of centered around like having this big dream that you're gonna chase, and you can do anything you put your mind to, you just have to work hard, and you know, you can be anything you want to be. Like, it would just be crazy to me to not like involve them in that, you know, and like not be able to show them, you know, look at this, like look at this different side of life. And I don't know, but I just feel like, and two, it's like there are just so many songs that talk about parenthood. I mean, like you can list many, and for some reason, like I feel like it is a little more like it is kind of funny how a lot of the times the songs about parenthood are coming from dads. But that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, right. That's a whole other podcast. Do you feel like I feel like something that is coming to mind. I remember Whiskey Jam did this Juice Box Jam,
and that was in partner
recently,
with FAM.
And I.
Yeah.
Oh, it was. Okay, that's awesome. I feel like there's more and more awareness, or just space given to family. And maybe it's just because I'm a new dad and I just notice those things. But do you feel like, I don't know, do you feel like the music industry supports it? Or maybe not everyone does, but there are those spaces that you can go and, you know, be around other music industry parents or bring your kids. Like, I mean, how are you feeling this side of having a kid?
I feel like it's really funny because when I started thinking about recording this album, I wasn't really hearing a lot of conversation. Like I had heard like a couple podcast interviews of like women who are also moms. But like there wasn't really things like this. Like there wasn't too many things like organizations and conversations happening. And so I really did feel like super unsupported. And like I just had like a new weight, like a new thing kind of like keeping me, you know, like a new obstacle, I guess. But more recently, like there are conversations happening and there are like these organizations popping up, and it is really nice to see that and to see like, you know, I just think the biggest thing is like we can't just like be like, if we're not talking about things, like that's where we're creating stigmas, you know? And so like, if we are talking about things and having the conversations, which more and more is happening, like then people aren't going to feel, if they find out they're pregnant, like my career is over. Because there are and have always been people that are doing it and like having families. And, you know, because like in the end of the day, like I feel like before baby, it was like my career is everything to me. Like I've always wanted to be a singer on stage. Like I always want to do this. Like I will die if I can't make this happen. And, you know, now that I have a baby, I'm like, and like just growing our family and everything, I'm just like, you know what, like it's just a job at the end of the day. Like it really is. And then like, yes, it is a little bit more like personal because it is more like my heart and soul and everything. One
thing that's interesting that I'm hearing you kind of say, and that something that's important to me, like one of the foundational elements of the way that I build content strategy is encouraging artists to create value-driven content. So really content that serves their fans. And that comes from a broader idea that I feel towards the music industry and really anything in life, is that life is about service, and your music serves your fans. And it's sometimes I feel like, especially when we're younger, we are looking for this like a fulfillment almost in our jobs or our careers. And I think one perspective that like having a family has given me is, you know, I don't know, there's something bigger than that to me. And it's almost like I'm now choosing, because I feel like it's important, because I feel like writing an album about motherhood, or in my case, helping artists create content that serves their fans. Like because I believe in that, I'm choosing to do it, and I'm choosing to commit my time to it, instead of like feeling like I have to do it because if I don't, then I'm a failure, or, you know, I didn't have a successful career. It's like, does that make sense?
Well, it goes back to like, it goes back to just being like more intentional, right? Like we're not gonna like give our time away from our families to something that's like not fulfilling. Like I feel like I want to feel that fulfillment that I feel like spending time like raising my son, like in every aspect of my life, like, you know, like and I don't know, it just everything changes, but for the good. But that's why I'm so glad that people are talking about it, because it's like, you know, it's like that is the thing, like that this is important. Living life is important, like not just your job. And so if you can find your job to be important too, like you're not just going to always just be like, oh, this is tugging me away or taking me away. It's just like life should be fun and fulfilling. And I don't know, I just think I don't know, that's just the way I like to go about life, I guess.
Yeah, totally. I got one final idea to throw your way. Fact or fiction, no one wants to see a pregnant woman on stage. How do you feel about that? Is that true?
So true. No, but can I tell you something? Like, that was like a thought that I had. Like, I had my EP release show scheduled, and I was going to have like a bump. And I was like, I literally said that to my manager. I was like, I'm just like feeling really self-conscious. Like, you know, like, because I just felt like it wasn't cool to have a baby, like in music. Like, it wasn't cool. It wasn't like accepted. And I was like, you know, I have to be like, you know, I have to look good. I have to appear perfect, and motherhood isn't perfect. And, you know, like they're going to think like if they see a baby bump, like, oh, that's great, she's releasing this EP, but like her career is over because look, she's going to have a baby, and how is she going to be able to do both? And, like, it just goes back to the whole thing, and like this whole stigma of like, you know, career ruiner. So sad. So untrue.
Right. How are you approaching that now in the future? Like, how do you think that's changed for you? I mean, I'm assuming we'll have kids again in the future. Like, how are you feeling about, I mean, do do you feel like that idea has changed for you, or like that thought has changed for you, and why?
Yeah, it's definitely changed. I'm excited to have another kid because it's just like, it's so funny because like, you know, like I am expecting a baby, and I have found out that I'm pregnant. And
I knew that. I didn't want to break the news. Yeah.
Here's the headline. But no, like,
yeah, right.
It was really cool to kind of see that like transition in myself this time around, because when I found out I was pregnant the first time, I was excited, and I was also like, what does this mean for everything, like for my career, for me? And this time I'm like, this is gonna be great. First of all, I've set myself up because I've been so real and honest, and I've been transparent, and I've made a whole album about motherhood. I've made, you know, I'm not trying to keep it separate. I'm not trying to hide it. And so that's good, because that's just going to fall in line with everything I'm doing. And I really feel like I've recently just been living like my truest, authentic life that I possibly can. And so no worries there. Also, one thing I really did realize was like I really did think like people were going to be like, why aren't you writing? Why aren't you recording? Like, where's the next project? And that's what I thought. But I really did realize that a lot of people do understand that you just had a baby. You know, people are a little bit more understanding than you think about that.
Totally.
Which is fine and great, because I'm really excited to actually willingly take that break this time and give myself a minute to like enjoy becoming a mom to two. Totally. And instead of just like, I can't wait till he sleeps so I can get more sleep so that I can get writing more, or like whatever it was, you know, like so I can catch up because I'm falling behind. Like I'm definitely I'm not even thinking that this time. I'm just like, let's go. This is going to be great. And people are excited for us too. Nobody is like worried about it.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I obviously can't speak to being pregnant, but you know, I've seen the way that people, when my wife has been pregnant twice now, she like the way people treat you when you're pregnant is, well, it really like changes how you feel about humanity. I like, no one's more, you know, people are just so kind to someone that's pregnant. And I mean, well, that's true, I think, about just life in general. I think in our industry, and you know, and even on stage, like there's nothing but good vibes. Nothing but good vibes that I've felt towards my wife when she's been pregnant. So it's cool to hear that you I don't know, are kind of like entering this second pregnancy and having this second child with like maybe less of a weight, or feeling more free, and like you said, more yourself, like more authentic, and just seeing where that kind of fits into your music career, and even like obviously having an album, Welcome to Motherhood, like it's easy to like connect the dots on how, like, you know, even just like the content is gonna make sense for some of the songs. But I mean, going back to Laurie McKenna, the Humble and Kind song, where it's not necessarily like it doesn't have to be a message to children, but you can definitely see how like a mother wrote that. And I'm just so thankful that she's, you know, really like authentically written songs and allowed her motherhood to inspire some of these great songs that she's written. And I feel like you're doing the same thing. So yeah, I'm excited for you and for this next baby. Yeah. And any final thoughts before we close?
I feel like sometimes I just get like really rambly and my thoughts aren't complete, and I have a little bit of pregnancy brain, so I like black out a little bit mid thought. But
we can be gracious with you.
I mean, my biggest thing is like, you know, with this, it's like I hope that, you know, somebody who especially is an independent artist, if they watch this, like, and, you know, maybe they see like we were talking about lies surrounding becoming a mom and continuing your career, like that they just see that, you know, like that it's possible. And yeah, it's going to be harder, but nobody here, at least in this space, is thinking like your career is over for you. Like, I think it's just like all a part of life. And I don't know. I just hope that whatever I've said maybe will like strike a fire in somebody else and inspire them to like, you know, either take a break or pick it back up, you know, because I think that's like such an important balance. I feel like we just all need to like, I need to learn to relax, you know, like it's all,
same.
It's all really like gonna be fine. And I think that like, you know, your like dreams and your direction may change, but like, I think it's good to like be open to changing your direction or changing how you maybe saw your career. Like at first, I don't know. I think it just helps keep the train rolling. And, you know, it's kind of cool to be independent because you get to like choose your own path and you're in charge of your own things. And, you know, you can probably take that break if you need it versus maybe if you were, you know, tied down by some things, they might be like, no, keep the baby separate.
Yeah, no, keep going.
They're like, we don't want to know that you're mom.
All right. Thanks. Thanks for your time today. I'm sure this has helped someone, and appreciate your authenticity and approach to your career and songwriting. And if you guys haven't heard Emily's album, Welcome to Motherhood, make sure you check it out, especially if that's something that you're interested in, if motherhood's something that you're interested in or have experienced and continue to experience. It's such an awesome album, and there's such great songs about motherhood on there.
Thanks.
So check it out.
Thank you.
Thanks, Emily.